Hello everybody, Mr. Odom here, and today we're going to solve some equations and check our answers. This is an important skill, and we're going to be doing a lot of these types of problems in this chapter. So I will go ahead and get started. Um, this is an equation, and we want to figure out what z equals. So the first thing we're going to do is write the problem down. And if you watch the video lesson, which I hope you did, you notice I gave you a process for doing this. We draw a line down the middle to kind of represent a scale, and on both sides of the scale we want to be balanced, because we talked about in that video what it means to be equal. Okay. We also talked about, hey, if we do something to one side of an equation, we have to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So to get z by itself, notice I am subtracting 8 from this side. So what is the inverse operation for subtraction? Well, it is addition. So if I add 8 to this side, then I'm subtracting 8, I'm adding 8, I end up with 0. That gives me z all by itself. But the addition property of equality says if I add something to one side of an equation, I have to add the exact same thing to the other side, or the equation's not equal anymore. It's not an equation, all right? So we have to add 8 to this side, and negative 3 plus 8, we've been solving problems like that in chapter 1. You guys have become pretty good at that, so we know that z equals 5. So I can write like this: 5 equals z. I'm okay if you leave your answer like that. Some teachers like to have z equals 5. Either way, it shouldn't matter. Why? Because it's an equal sign, right? So it shouldn't matter. Now we have to check our solution. So we have to check to make sure that our answer is correct. And what do we do when we're checking our answers? We write the problem down again. Z minus 8. And we substitute. We know z equals 5. So we want to know what happens when I put the number 5 in here. 5 minus 8. I substitute. And on this side of the equation, I still have negative 5. And what do I have? Oh, you know what? Oh, that's crazy. That shouldn't be negative 5. That should be negative 3. All right, sorry about that. And then on this side of the equation, 5 minus 8, I already know that that's negative 3. And notice I get the same value on both sides of the equation. And that means that this answer, this solution, is the correct one. This is correct. All right, we know because we just checked our answer. All right, let's look at problem number 10. So I start off by writing the problem down. Write the problem down. Negative 10.1 equals W plus 5.3. Draw my line here. I want to get W by itself, so I'm adding 5.3. I need to subtract 5.3 from this side. The subtraction property of equality says if I subtract something from one side of an equation, I have to do it to the other side, or the equation is not equal. And so I'm adding 5.3. When I subtract it, that ends up being 0. And so W is all by itself, which is what we want. And now over here, I have negative 10.1 minus 5.3, and that equals negative 15.4. All right. And now I want to check to see if this is the correct answer. And how do I do that? Let me write the problem down. Negative 10.1 equals W plus 5.3. I want to substitute negative 15.4 into this equation. So I have negative 10.1 equals negative 15.4 plus 5.3. And again, I end up with negative 10.1 on this side all by itself. And negative 15.4 plus 5.3 is negative 10.1. You can check that on your calculators. So by checking my answer, this tells me, because both sides are exactly the same, that this is the solution to the equation. All right, so that's what we're doing in these problems. We're going to get a lot of practice solving equations, and you're going to see that in every chapter after chapter 3, we're going to have to solve equations. So we're going to become really good at it this year. All right, this is Mr. Odom. I'm out. You guys are awesome.